how do you balance risk and experimentation?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think you're always trying to focus at the core. How do you make sure you do what you want to do in a safe way? I think early stage, if anyone's around early stage, we're definitely more in the experimentation than I think the security side of things. And obviously, we spend a lot of time now to make sure that everything is really fantastic. But there's, especially in a startup, in a fast growth startup, there's always going to be a lot of give and take there. And I think where we've lucked out is really, I think everything always comes down to the people, of course, but our operations team is a growth-minded operations team. And I know that that's a little bit counter because when you're typically dealing with fraud and compliance, the default is these are relatively defensive people because their job is to protect the company, which is good. Those are valuable things and you want that kind of mentality. In a startup, you need to have people that also recognize there's going to be a minimum level required here for us to do what we want to do, knowing that if the experiment is successful, we'll be able to catch up. And so I think we've done a good job of making sure that we're assigning the right levels of risk. When we know we're about to come out with a new product, we make sure we have the things that we want in place to be able to risk assess users or flag when we need to or whatever it may be. But we're also hyper conscious that we don't want to ever slow down the pace of our movement for things that might not happen. And I think that's a bit of the balance, right? Because you can also be in a position of spending 6 months making sure the security is crazy and the fraud, you got AI fraud flagging and whatever it may be, just to find out that 3 people used the thing and nobody cared in the first place, right? So there's always a little bit of a balance there. But I think being like still an aggressive, like offensive mentality on the risk, which is inherently defensive, I think is how we've been able to, migrate through these things.
Perfect. That makes sense. Thank you.
All right. So this is a quick tactical question. You mentioned that you talk to your churn users to understand churn reasons. How do you find them and how do you make them talk to you?
Yeah, I mean, make them talk to you is hard. We reach out to 1,000 and probably talk to 5 of them. Like that's pretty normal. You usually got to entice them with a gift card or something like that, and they'll usually give you a couple minutes of their time. But part of it is just recognizing that it's going to be a normal part of business, and so. We've tried to automate as much of that as possible. We're always tracking our churn. We know the users that are leaving the platform. We're keeping track of those lists so we can make sure we're sending out automated notes. Obviously, our growth team is always working on re-engagement. And, our app came out today. Yeah, our app came out today. Go check it out. Yeah, and we're number 4. We're number 4 on the finance. Nice. And so, we're always trying to get in front of churn users with the new things that we're doing to re-entice people back to the platform. But, always being transparent, like, we're sorry to see you go. Everyone's got those emails a million times. I know most people delete them. Not everybody does. And so the people that are willing to spend some time with us, again, we try to make it worth their while if possible. But we found that the people that are willing to hop on a call or fill out a form or whatever, typically are willing to give you pretty honest feedback.